Good morning, welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Good to see you again. Today is Monday, August 3rd, 2009. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the U.S. It's 4:30 p.m. in London, 12:30 in Bermuda, and 9:30 a.m. in Mexico City. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. In this day in history, in 1492, Christopher Columbus and his three boats, his three ships, set out for the New World from Palos, Spain. It was a long voyage. It was his first of three. Also, today's birthday, the American actor Martin Sheen is 69 years old today. Some news that has come in, economic news, since we put the issue to rest. The Purchasing Managers Index has come out showing that U.S. manufacturing looks pretty good, actually. Stock market's up about 70 points, so hopefully continuing August the way we finished July. Now to our main news. A Continental 767 bound for Houston from South America hit severe turbulence somewhere near the Dominican Republic. It was diverted to Miami, Florida. 26 passengers were injured, 4 of them seriously. The flight was Continental Flight 128 from Rio de Janeiro. It encountered severe turbulence about 50 miles north of the Dominican Republic at an altitude of 38,000 feet. It landed at Miami-Dade International at about 6 a.m. The injured passengers suffered bumps, bruises, neck pain, and back pain. All of the injured people were passengers. None of the crew members were hurt. In Western Canada, firefighters out there in British Columbia are continuing to struggle with about 500 forest fires now. Some 2,700 people have already been evacuated. 2,300 more people have been ordered to be ready to leave at a moment's notice. The fires are about 250 miles east of Vancouver, near the town of Kelowna, Kelowna. The fires have consumed about 11,300 acres. The 2,700 people that they had just ordered to evacuate had only returned to their homes 2 days earlier. Meanwhile, in the Canary Islands off Africa, which is the birthplace of hurricanes, not to be confused, 4,000 people were evacuated from their homes. This was on Sunday. 250 firefighters are battling a fire on the island of La Palma. It's being fueled by strong winds. La Palma is the 5th largest of 7 islands in the Canaries. It's a popular tourist destination. Meanwhile, in Spain, the northeastern part of the country, in Aragon, fires continue to rage out of control. Some 500 hectares of forest have already been destroyed. The Reinsurance Association of America has come out with one of their reports saying that pre-tax losses for the U.S. non-life reinsurance sector for the first 3 months of 2009 stood at $1.7 billion. This figure compares with a $2 billion profit for the same period last year. The 19-member RAA companies, which provide about 2/3 of American reinsurance capacity, recorded a combined ratio of 95.5% for the first 3 months of the year. It's a little worse than the 95.2% recorded in the same period last year. Combined net underwriting profits for the group amounted to $38 million, up from $20 million surplus recorded for last year's first quarter. National Indemnity, Warren Buffett's company, produced the largest underwriting surplus for the period with a profit of $68 million. Its combined ratio was 84%. Swiss Re America, on the other hand, recorded a $54 million loss and a 116+% combined ratio. 5 companies did record double-digit increases, with American Ag leading the pack with a 96% rise in net written premiums. SCORE had an 82% increase, and National Indemnity increased by 21%. We'll go to a word from our sponsors now. I'll come back with the rest of the news.
Every day, the world wakes up and goes to work, pursuing the unique opportunities that lead the global economy forward. The complexity and close connectivity of today's global marketplace is a true modern miracle that can create unparalleled success. But it takes confidence, passion, innovation, and understanding.
Enabling opportunity. Protecting capital.
Engineering innovation. Investing in your future.
Ensuring continuity.
Finding the right balance.
it takes Aon.
More IPO rumors again circling around China Reinsurance, which is Asia's largest reinsurer by registered capital. The report is that China Re aims to bring in a strategic investor ahead of its planned IPO early next year or later this year. According to its chairman, Liu Feng, he said, quote, "To introduce a strategic investor is an important part of our long-term development plan." China Re had hoped to launch an estimated $2.5 billion IPO last year, but its financial situation and questions over its management had disrupted that plan. The company's troubles at that time put off foreign investors. Swiss Re and Munich Re, as well as Kohlberg Kravis Roberts, walked away from talks on an investment structure that had begun all the way back in 2007. Also rumored to be in the mix at the time was Renaissance Re and the Australian bank Macquarie. The company remains very interested in selling a 10% stake, preferably to one of the European companies that dominate the reinsurance industry. China Re reported a pre-tax profit of $466 million US for the first 6 months of this year. White Mountains made some news. They're reorganizing its reinsurance structure. They're going to convert its Bermuda reinsurance operation into a branch of White Mountains Re. Warren Trace, a good friend of ours, currently president and CEO of White Mountains Re Bermuda, will remain in charge of the Bermuda branch operations. He's going to report to Goran Thorstensson, president and CEO of Sirius. That would be White Mountain Re Sirius. The reorganization is expected to be effective on 9/1 of this year. White Mountains Re will contribute in excess of $200 million of capital to Sirius. In addition, approximately $400 million of capital will be upstream to the White Mountains Re and White Mountains holding companies. White Mountains Reinsurance Company of America will remain under the direction of Dwight Evans as president and CEO. The White Mountains Re American underwriting platform and regulatory capitalization, which was at about $750 million US as of the end of June of this year, will not at all be affected by the reorg. Here's an interesting story coming from MetLife, the #1 U.S. life insurer. They were dragged into the red by derivative losses in the second quarter, but they say that they've earned more than they've lost on derivatives. This is according to the CFO of the company on Friday. MetLife reported a second quarter net loss of $1.4 billion on Thursday due to derivative losses, but 2 quarters earlier it had a large gain as values had swung in the other direction, resulting in an 2008 fourth quarter net of something over $1 billion US. According to the CFO, William Wheeler, on a net basis over time we have derivative gains. MetLife's largest quarterly losses largely stem from derivative losses tied to its own credit spreads. When those improved in the second quarter, there was a corresponding $1 billion hit to the valuation of its insurance liabilities. I'm not sure how that works, but it would seem to me from that they were possibly betting against themselves. According to Mr. Wheeler, it's really sort of accounting noise, if I'm allowed to say that. He said while some derivative agreements do have to be settled in cash, they've not burned a hole in our pockets. Quote, "We're still way in the money on a lot of our derivatives contracts." Here's somebody who doesn't need derivative contracts. This is coming from an article by Jonathan Kent in today's Royal Gazette down in Hamilton. Validus Insurance Holdings posted an 81% rise in second quarter net income, due largely to revenue growth, a lack of CAT claims, and an increase in market value